Welcome back, everyone, to the Off Campus Podcast. In this episode, I was joined by Kendall Heintz to discuss Rule 10 of the 12 Rules for Life book by Jordan Peterson, which is Be Precise in Your Speech. This is something I've had some trouble on, and I've been working on the past year. So it was great to have Kendall on to discuss it, the nuances behind arguments with relationships and friends and family and all that stuff. We talked about going outside, why it's good for you, why you should do it. We talked about what this generation is missing, what we're missing socially, individually, and a whole lot more. So I think you guys will enjoy this episode. If you do, give it a like and enjoy the rest. Welcome back to the Off Campus Podcast, everyone. Here I'm joined by Kendall Heintz. How are you doing?
I'm swell. How are you?
Great. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I went to high school with Joey. That was a while ago now.
Yeah.
But since then I've been working on restoring cars in school for automotive, and just kind of living life, getting, making money.
The important things.
Yes.
All right. Well, we are discussing the 10th rule of the 12 Rules for Life book by Jordan Peterson. And that rule is be precise in your speech. And this is actually something that I've had some trouble with just because I don't speak great. I just talk like how I talk, and I haven't put much thought into it until the past year when I started this podcast, basically. So my first question to you. When people say something is too small to warrant an argument, what do you think of that?
Too small as in not significant?
Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe your partner does something that just makes you a little uncomfortable, but you don't think it's a big deal, so you don't want to start an argument. What do you think the danger is in not confronting that?
It could be something small, or it could be something big disguised as something small. You could be. It's possible that it's not just that, and there's something more, something else going on. I try to communicate as much as I can. If there's something like that, even if it's the tiniest little thing that will bug me, I will tell her, or my girlfriend, obviously, that it's bugging me, and I won't, if it's she tells the truth about it, I'm not gonna, get upset about it. If there's something more to it and I still feel that way, then I'll kind of let it simmer, see what happens. If it comes up again, talk about it again. Just kind of do that. People try to hide things, unfortunately, and the best thing to do is try to investigate. Not to say you should be intrusive or anything, but ask questions, and communicate thoroughly what, if you have concerns, let them know.
Yeah. Actually, in my last relationship, trust was a tough thing. I mean, it's not like we didn't trust each other, but I think it was that there was some stuff that either made her uncomfortable or stuff that made me uncomfortable that we just didn't talk about. And then because you don't talk about it, it doesn't solve anything. And the small stuff built up after a while tends to be pretty big. So why do you think being precise in your speech, how does that have to do with being clear and being honest with your partner?
So it's about saying the right thing at the right time, or not saying the right thing at the wrong time kind of thing. You got to be, it's very cliche, but communication is the biggest thing. If you're with someone who has trouble controlling emotions, controlling the way they, their physical acts, something like that, it's important to talk to them about that, because you may not know the whole story, and being able to talk to them about that, or if you're having the same issues, it's going to be a relief, and secondly, it's going to at least put the problem out there if there is one, and not kind of keep it in the dark. Because if you bring light to it, you can't ignore it.
Right. He said something in the chapter that was like, if you feel symptoms, you go to the doctor, because if you feel a symptom, it could be a million different diseases. Some of them horrible, some of them completely fine. But you go to the doctor so you can kind of snap that down to one. And then even if it's a really bad disease, at least you know what you can do to fix it. Because, if you leave stuff in the dark, how are you going to solve it? Another thing, if you're not explicit on what you're looking for, this is why it's important to be precise. If you're not explicit with what you're looking for in a relationship, your partner's not going to know how to fulfill that. So how do you go about, if you're uncomfortable with something that your partner's doing, it could be big or small, how do you go into that without being mad or offending them, or going into it in just an argumentative tone? What's the proper way to confront that?
I think it's about being understanding and not being authoritarian about it. Like, you're doing something I don't like, stop right now. You gotta, if you don't talk them through it and talk to them why it's making you feel whatever you're feeling, it's not, for most people, it's just gonna turn them away. They're gonna be apprehensive and not want to listen to you. If you're more, I don't know, aggressive about it, if you're not giving them chances to, stop whatever they're doing or something like that, it's not going to be nearly as effective as just talking it through with them. There was something was going on with like this with my cousin and her boyfriend, and I was trying to mediate with them, and it seemed to help a little bit, but he was very he's had some issues with his just controlling his emotions and stuff, and not that I'm discrediting him or anything, it's just the way he is. And I talked to him about it. I'm not sure if it's me that talking to him that helped, but it seems that things between them got better after that. And that could just be, putting on an act or whatever. But
Right.
I don't think it's not productive to be angry at someone for something, especially if it's like a habit or something, unhealthy for them. I mean, I understand why you'd be angry about that, but it's not going to be productive getting angry at them. You have to be empathetic about it. And if that doesn't work, obviously you have to take a different approach, but it's not productive to be just full steam ahead, yelling at them or anything like that.
Yeah. How do you respond to someone who's being like that?
If they're like towards me,
Yeah, or you can,
or someone in general.
yeah, or maybe like, how did you mediate that if he's being aggressive?
So I was just texting him on Snapchat because you don't want to talk in person. But I was basically telling him what she was telling me about how she felt. And I told him, you got to be level-headed. Part of being a man is being level-headed at all times. Like, you could have the worst shit going on in your life. Can I swear?
Yeah, you can swear.
You could have the worst shit going on in your life, but if you're not composed and ready to, face that, and you're not ready to, be productive, you're not going to really get far. If you can be emotional, I'm not saying you can't be emotional, but at the end of the day, you got to be productive and you got to be smart about how you react to things, or else it might have bad consequences.
Right. What do you think about the culture of men who overemphasize the level-headedness and the stoicism?
I think it's better than not, raising a society of people that just want to be victims and, be given everything. on the other hand, it can't be that extreme. There has to be something in the middle. You can't just, I mean, we're not living in prehistoric times anymore.
Yeah.
The world is a lot different now, but the principles are the same. You just have to apply them differently to the modern world. And you can be the most, unemotional person in the world, but there's still probably someone out there that's going to want to be with you, and you're going to have to adapt to, be with them, because I know women will not be with you if you have no emotions or anything like that.
Yeah. What is it? They have the right diagnose. They diagnose the society's problems correctly, but they have the wrong solutions.
Yeah.
So they know that men are too weak right now. They act like victims. They're right about that. But the solution to that is not to go over the top in stoicism and kind of, you're right, like be a man in prehistoric times. It's not like that. It's about, I don't know. I feel like they kind of miss the whole point of relationships, like men-women relationships. They're just not, I don't know. They don't see women as partners, but they should. So what do you think is the solution to that, to those people?
I think a lot of it's about the way our culture is now. It's not, if we were living in like the 1940s, 50s, there's a nuclear family and there's a mom telling you what to do and there's a dad telling you what to do. And you have that role model or both those role models to show you the right things to do, to be a productive member of society. Your dad goes to work. Your mom might go to work. She might stay home. But you still have the role model there. You have the dad to teach you the things you need to do to be a man. You have your mom to teach you how to be emotional and how to confront, certain problems, deal with them. And I think that a lot of that has gone away, where today's society, it's all about online stuff, everything that's happening in the moment. There's not really a lot of thought about the future, I feel like. And that's why, birth rates are going down, stuff like that. People aren't getting together to be in relationships for the long run. And I think that kind of scares me, honestly. Because we're going to be,
Yeah.
long term, who's going to pay for Social Security, all that stuff, if there's no kids around. And yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, it is. Hey guys, I hope you are enjoying this episode so far. If you are, I'd like to quickly ask you to please drop a like on the video. It helps me a lot to share the podcast to more people, and it means a whole lot to me. So thank you for doing that, and enjoy the rest of the video. You're an outside type of person.
Yes.
And good for you. More than I am, for sure. And I think I'm probably above average in that as well. But what do you think? Well, what do you do, and how do you think that helps you in life?
You mean just shooting stuff and?
Oh, that's not all you do.
Well, so I was the Eagle Scout, so I was in the Boy Scouts, and through that I learned a lot about just outdoor stuff. There's a lot of stuff to do outside. People just don't want to go do it. Of course, now it kind of costs more money, but a lot of that has applied to me being able to not have to worry about being bored and being, socially active like a lot of people are now. Everyone's worried about, getting a message on their phone or something like that, getting a notification. They have to check what it is right away. I'm not really like that. The only person I really talk to on my phone is my girlfriend, and then everyone else gets like once or twice a day.
Yeah.
But it's important to be able to keep yourself. I think there's a big reliance on technology today, and it's not healthy. It's people are on their devices for like 14 hours a day.
Oh yeah.
That's like pretty much the whole day you're awake. You wake up, you're watching something on your phone. Go to bed, you're watching something on your phone. Like, I can't do that.
Yeah. Do you think you were born like that, or do you think it was something that you built through like Eagle Scout?
I don't know. My dad was outside a lot. He's a very big outside guy, so I was kind of just raised like that. And I mean, I do stuff on, play video games and stuff, but I'm not. There's a lot of people now that it's either an extreme or it's not. Like, they're either constantly playing video games, or there's people that just don't play video games at all. I'm kind of in the middle. There could be more people in the middle, but from what I've seen, being at school especially, there's everyone there just inside playing video games all day. I'm like, how do you do this? They're socializing, but it's over the internet. It's a virtual world. I don't really, I don't know. I don't like that.
Yeah, I've talked to my dad a few times about video games, because I love playing video games, and he obviously does not like me playing video games. But there is some sort of social interaction there, where if you're playing a game with your friends, your actual friends, I don't know, it is really nice, because I don't know, let's say back in high school, there's a snow day, you can't go over your friend's house because there's too much snow, you can't get there, whatever it is, but you're bored. You can socialize with your friends through video games, and it's a lot of fun, and it really does grow that bond, but not in the same way that it does if you guys are hanging out in person. And I think in almost all situations, in person's better. Maybe I would say all situations. But I don't think video games are as bad as people think they are. I mean, what's worse for your attention span, playing Call of Duty or scrolling through TikTok?
Oh, TikTok, 100%.
And how many people like demonize video games or Call of Duty versus TikTok? Not that many demonize TikTok at all. I mean, it's starting to get there, but
they should.
They should. Are you big on social media?
I deleted TikTok. I use Instagram and Facebook, and that's about it.
And I'm sure your both of those are full of car stuff.
Yeah, car stuff, dogs.
Oh yeah. How many dogs do you have?
We had two. My oldest died in July. She was 14. Unfortunately, she died. And then the other one we have is two. Little retriever.
Cute little retriever.
Little shithead.
What got you into cars?
Ever since I was a little kid, NASCAR, we would go up to Circle Track in Lee, and we'd go up to New Hampshire Motor Speedway. My dad would bring me. We would watch all the guys turning left for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, it's just kind of stemmed from that. I got into kind of drifting a lot later, like kind of right after high school. Not that I can drift, but I'd watch it and, go to events and everything like that. And then I kind of got more into watching drag racing, endurance racing, and then restoring cars. And that's where I hit up my boss now and asked him to work for him at a restoration shop, and it's kind of been going from there.
That's cool. Do you have a dream car?
Porsche 911.
Really?
911 all the way. Every man's dream car is 911.
Yeah, everyone wants a Porsche. Porsches are just they're
Porsches.
built so good.
Yeah,
I love them.
They're quick, sound good, everything.
They are.
Package.
I had an old a 2000 Boxster in high school. Remember that thing?
Yeah.
Wasn't too high performance,
Bucket
but
of bolts.
Yeah, it was fun though. I don't know. Something about cars just strike a nerve with every man. It's just, they're awesome.
It's a good way to. It's a good adrenaline rush, even if you're in something that's slow as hell. if you're just beating on it, it's a good way to like just spend time.
Yeah, it's like explosions. They're just something beautiful about them.
Thousands of explosions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, every second.
Yeah.
I actually heard this thing. So it's very easy to get women to talk about their feelings, unsurprisingly. But it's very difficult to get men to talk about their feelings. So what this company did, I don't know what this was in some random country, and I'm not even going to say one because I have no idea which it was. But what they did is they would find a broken lawnmower and they'd invite 4 or 5 guys to just come fix this lawnmower. And that's all they would do. But then the men would come fix the lawnmower, then talk about their problems through that. And it had something to do with women being good face-to-face, talking about their problems, where men are more like side-to-side, better at working on something and talking about their feelings. And it actually, in that same discussion, apparently, and I want to test this now, but if you're at a party and you see women talking, their feet will always be pointed towards each other. But if you see men talking, their feet will always be pointed like parallel to each other. So I want to test this out. But what do you think that has to do with, like, why do you think that is?
Guys like to do stuff like while they're talking. It's just an ADHD thing. I don't know, but I definitely agree with that, because anytime I'm trying to do something and someone wants to talk to me, I'm not gonna want to finish or drop what I'm doing to talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it kind of gives you. It's almost like a way to think. If you have something in your hand and you're fiddling with it or doing whatever, I guess it's like a free fidget spinner or whatever, but you're doing,
Yeah.
You have something to like keep your mind busy and make it, I don't know, make neurons fire or something like that. But it definitely helps you think. Like I've noticed that as I've gotten older, I have something in my hand. I'm doing it right now.
Yeah.
Fiddling with the wire.
Yeah.
But it helps you think. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah, it's something about men. I've noticed that too in my own life, because I clean motorcycles. I sell motorcycles, so whenever I'm cleaning them, I clean them with this kid Johnny, who I work with. He's 25, and dude, we have some of the best conversations while we don't even look at each other the entire time. For hours, we're just cleaning, having the greatest conversations. And it's just, I don't know, something about that with men where
it's just a connection. I don't know what it is. I guess it's bonding, really.
Mm-hmm.
You're spending time you spend hours with each other every day, realistically. And, you have something, you're both working towards a common goal, you're both doing something. And I don't know, it helps you think. I noticed that a lot, and now
Yeah.
you brought it up. I'm like, yeah.
I'm sure you feel the same way working on
Yeah.
cards with someone.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have some of the best conversations of your life just doing that. It's really wild. It's cool though. What do you think's the most important thing in a long-term relationship? You mentioned communication.
Being clear about your goals. I think you said that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But having a clear set of goals, a clear set of boundaries, not leaving anything in the dark. If something happens, you talk about it. If you have questions, you talk about it. If you're feeling a certain way, you talk about it. And if you're with the right person, they'll understand and want to work with you on that. And if you're with someone that doesn't want to do that, I probably wouldn't be in a relationship with them.
Do you think you can be too precise in your speech? And the way that I think of it when I say that is maybe like on the first date, you start laying out, this is my goal, this is my boundaries. And do you think that's too early? I don't know. This is a genuine question for myself, because I don't know.
Not on the first date. I would be trying to get to know them at least, If you know them enough to ask them out, get to know them enough to know what their values are, and what they, what their beliefs are, kind of stuff like that. get to know their personality. Throw a few jokes in, see if they laugh, something like that. But if you're not compatible with them and you don't find that out early, it's probably not gonna it's not gonna be what you hope for.
Yeah, you're right. My mom taught me that the earliest stage should be the easiest. So every time that it's not easy in the beginning, I kind of take it as maybe it's just not. It actually helps a lot. Another thing on that, I said expectations need to be explicitly set, even if you believe that they're givens. Like they should already know this. They should still be explicitly set because your partner's not a mind reader. You're not a mind reader, so you can't expect them to know what you're thinking. Because sometimes you don't even know what you're thinking or what you want. Another thing that he mentioned in the chapter was when you are in an argument, and actually, this is a separate thing. When you and your partner are in an argument, you're not against each other. It's you two against the problem. And that has helped me a lot, too, with friends and everything. Like, any argument that I have with anyone now, it's like, okay, well, I'm not really here to win the argument. I'm not here to beat you. I'm here to, like, work with you and try and figure it out. But he talked about when you are in an argument and you want something to change, you have to be very precise, very honest about what you want. How do you go about that? Like, how do you figure out what you want? How do you figure out what is explicitly wrong? Because in a lot of arguments, people will bring up one thing and then it'll lead to another. This is what's wrong. First off, they say, this is what's wrong. This is what I want you to change. But then it goes into a million different things. How can you avoid that?
Avoid that? I don't know, but you can. A lot of the time, that stuff stems from not talking in the first place, and it might not. But what I've noticed is that when you don't have to be on someone's ass all day, like checking in on their mood and stuff. But if you notice something's up and you don't bring it up, for whatever reason, women especially like to bring that up later, that, hey, I was upset and you didn't say anything, and then start something from that. And you just have to be on the alert. You can't really, if you're in a good relationship, you shouldn't be really slacking off about anything like that. It's not like it has to be a job or something, but be attentive. When someone wants your attention, give it to them. And something I do with my girlfriend is we have lunch and dinner pretty much every day together at school. And that time there's no phones, no nothing. And we just talk about our days, talk about each other. And that very simple thing makes everything else like smooth. Like everything else runs smooth in our relationship just from being able to talk to each other about stuff that's going on. And if someone, so you're saying that if someone was like bringing it up to you, like what do you mean by that? Like explain that a little bit more.
Like you do something to annoy your girlfriend. Maybe you meant to do it, maybe you didn't. And she comes to you and she's like, okay, well, this kind of annoyed me. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm sorry. But then it goes off into, well, you did this a while back and this, and I don't like how you do this, and just everything. It's
like a snowball effect.
Yeah, like you listen to the chapter. He said that near the end, he was saying that a lot of arguments go from one issue to every issue, and it's basically impossible to solve anything if you're talking about fixing everything. Right. Like you need to do one at a time. I was just asking how to avoid that, but communication is a good way of doing that, and I think that has to be built up. So, like you said, a lot of the times it's because they didn't talk 3 months ago when he did that and it annoyed her and
Yeah.
she didn't want to bring it up. Or the guys do it too. Guys just do it for different reasons. I think girls, I don't know why girls do it. I don't know. Guys do it because maybe they don't want confrontation. I don't think women are, for the most part, I don't think the women are scared of that. I think,
Definitely not.
I don't know.
I feel like guys will. A lot of times, guys try not to see into things either. Because if you can't, if you don't know what's happening, you don't have to worry about it, kind of thing. And I think he talked about that in the chapter too. That if you don't acknowledge it, it's not there. That's a lot of what people have as a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the time, it's harmless. Like if a guy thinks like that, and then sometimes it's not, and it's, you got to be able to determine when it's okay to just kind of, brush something off and not brush it off, because there could be two different, outcomes to that.
All right. So do you believe that there's anything that's too small to argue about?
Argue about, probably. Talk about, no. Because if you're arguing over who's took someone else's pen, that's stupid, obviously.
Yeah, you're right.
You can ask about it, but, if you took the pen, just be honest. Like, there's no reason to... People lie way too much now just to get what they want and just to say fuck you to the other person, and it's a little ridiculous.
Yeah, the world's full of compulsive liars. There's a Bible verse, actually, that my pastor said today that it was like, if you can be trusted with the little things, you can be trusted with the big things. But if you can't be trusted with the little things, you can't be trusted with the big things. And that actually, it changed my mindset a lot, because the little things matter a lot more than you think it does. And not just in the physical world, but like in your mind. If you're trustworthy with little things, then generally you can be trustworthy with big things. Do you think couples spend too much time together?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That is a good question.
Too much time together. How much is too much time? Like all the time? Like every day?
Do you think there's an amount of time that's too much?
I think if you're in a relationship for the wrong reasons, then yes. And by that I mean if you're in a relationship just to have sex with someone or something like that, and you're not actually like in love with them or whatever, I think there's too much to that. But if you're in a relationship with someone, you have to find a balance between, going on with your own life and starting that relationship or maintaining that relationship. For me, it's whenever I'm down at school, it's her time, I'm with her. And then when I'm back home, it's me time. And that way it's not, because you will get annoyed with someone if you're with them for too long.
Mm-hmm.
It's just bound to happen. I don't care what people say. You're with someone for, 3 weeks straight, you're going to be annoyed. You're going to want to get away and do something by yourself. And so you have to find the balance with that. So you're excited to see them every day or whenever you do see them. And you're not, I don't know the word, overdosing, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's important. Yeah, so it's important to find that balance.
Yeah. I see it a lot. I think people spend way too much time together. Not even just couples, but a lot of friends, just all day, every day. I'm like, dude, like you need a life other than each other. You got to build something on your own, maybe. You did say that men tend to ignore things. It's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. So do you think people really genuinely want to know if there's a problem, or do you think they don't?
I think it depends on the person, but usually I would say they do. And sometimes it's not, if it doesn't seem like significant enough, they won't bother asking about it. You know what I mean? It really depends on how the person they're talking to, like how they are emotionally and how they're uh, acting. If you see someone that's clearly like crying and upset, you're obviously going to ask about it. And if you see someone that, isn't, maybe has resting bitch face or something, there's a fine line between, yeah, it's always safe to ask, but I mean, if it doesn't seem like anything's off, I wouldn't, there's no reason to be nosy about it, because that will get annoying too if you're asking, hey, are you okay? Hey, are you okay? Hey, are you okay? At every, however long
Right.
you're asking that all the time, someone's gonna get frustrated with it, because you have to, you have to build the skill of reading emotions and reading body language and just reading how people are acting. And if they're upset, they act this way, and you can use that to judge if they're not upset or if they are upset. And you have to get really good at reading people.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time in relationships to really learn that. And I think that's where a lot of relationships tend to fail, is that it's usually the woman that's upset about something, and she expects the guy to, actually, one of two situations. Either the girl is expecting him to ask, are you okay, at certain times, and he's just like, I don't know, how am I supposed to know? Which, that's valid. But at the same time, what a lot of guys do is they, like you said, constantly ask, are you okay? Are you okay? Is there something wrong? And then she's like, no. But it just shows that the guy's not very confident in the relationship. If you're constantly worried about your girlfriend breaking up with you, what does that relationship even have? Like, it doesn't really have anything. You guys are just, I don't know. There's no reason to live. I don't know. I think trust and communication is the two biggest things in any relationship. And trust is both your responsibility to earn, but also your responsibility to give. You have to, you can't be in a relationship if you're not willing to trust someone, to have any sort of faith in someone, because you can't know 100% that they're not going to cheat on you. You can't know 100% that they're like not going to just break up with you. But there's a reason why we do it anyway, because it's worth it, right? How can this rule be applied to friendships?
Friendships. Oh. Well, if you have friends that are very sensitive to things, you probably shouldn't say things that'll set them off. I have a couple friends that it's a bad day or it's a good day. It's never in between. And you just got to be able to be accurate with how you talk to people like that. And you don't want to say something to someone on the wrong day and get them all pissy and have to deal with that. But if you're friends with someone, it's important to talk to them, as a peer, and not, be, talk down to them or anything like that. And it's important to just be honest. And that's, like I said before, honesty is a very simple but important thing. And if you're not honest with someone, it's gonna come back to bite you eventually.
Yeah, yeah. When you're not honest with someone, you're like missing out on an opportunity for them to fix something that could like make your life so much better. But sometimes people just aren't honest. I'm sure you agree that sharing values with a partner, very important, most important. Do you think you need that with friends?
Not necessarily, because I know I'm not super. I mean, if you're super close with someone, I'd say probably. But I talk to people that have different, political views than me and stuff, and a lot of that's about their willingness to not, mediate, or their willingness to have a conversation. A lot of people don't want to have conversations when they disagree about stuff. They just want to say that they're right, and that's that. People don't want to have debates. People don't want to talk about different different views about stuff, and that breaks friendships. Because if you can't talk to someone, wrestle them about it or something, you're not gonna get anywhere. Part of being friends with someone is being able to talk to them and have them talk to you, even if you disagree. At the end of the day, you guys still have to be, together. You're still friends. Even if you disagree, at the end of the day, you still care about each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's important that you be able to do that.
Yeah, this is another thing that I've learned with Johnny, the kid I work with. We do agree on most things, pretty much everything, I guess. But a lot of the conversations that we have while cleaning bikes are stuff he'll bring it up because he knows I'm gonna have a different answer than him, and we just talk about it. But you're right, like generally, like if you're avoiding talking to your friend about something because you know it's gonna upset them or they're not gonna want to talk about it at all, I think that's a good sign to say like maybe they're not a great friend, because I don't know, or maybe they're not a bad friend, but they're not like a great person. That sounds mean, but you know what I mean. Like if they're not willing to talk to you about certain subjects, it's almost like they're being either cowards about it or they're too prideful to like have any sort of disagreement on them. But I do agree, like friends, it's important to like share the big values with them, but small stuff, it's completely fine to disagree on, and it's actually a lot of the times very good to disagree with people because you can bounce off, change your views, you can change their views, you can strengthen your views.
I think it's very beautiful to be able to disagree with someone about something, and at the end of the day, still, talk to them and be, close with them. Because people are allowed to have their own opinions, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could try to convince them or they could try to convince me, but that's what makes, obviously, this country, you have that choice to be completely independent and have your own views and believe your own things. And a lot of today's culture is about getting rid of that ability. And, what I say goes, that's it. And there's no more debate, and there's no more, different views. And we need to have that, because if we all go one way, there's no diversity, there's no, realistically, nothing will get done.
People are scared to say their opinions now. On the last podcast, I was talking to Joey Panaleo about how podcasting, I think, I was talking about how podcasting has helped me. And I think even if people aren't doing a podcast, like not necessarily with cameras in front of them, but they should have at least like once a month, have at least once a month and at least one person to sit down and just talk with for an hour. Maybe not even an hour, maybe 20 minutes. But I feel like there's so many people that just miss out on that. And, it's changed my views a lot just talking to people. And even people that I agree with, like it's still changed my views. I just see stuff in different perspectives because people live a lot of different lives. No one lives the life you live, and that's a good thing. Like it's cool. You live a completely different life than everyone else. But at the same time, if you're not willing to talk to someone about it, then you're like missing out on so much. It's just a lot.
It's also important for problem solving, is knowing someone else's situation and knowing how they feel about something. And that's why being able to have an argument and be productive about it is important. And, having disagreeing views is fine. You just have to be able to, at the end of the day, know you're still on the same team as them. And that one disagreement shouldn't be the end of the world.
Yeah. What do you think is the biggest thing that our generation is lacking? Either in
Testosterone.
either in resources, either in behavior. whatever you want to, however you want to go about this.
Discipline. You go to any mall now, you'll see people, I don't want to sound like a boomer, but you'll see kids running around doing some of the stupidest shit. Like, I know they're kids and they're, out there, but at least have respect for people and not be shoving your phone in their face and stuff like that. Like, I'm all for, if you want to film a video or something in public, yeah, that's different. But when I've seen a lot of videos of people online trying to be famous and they just end up getting fucking punched or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what did you expect was going to happen? It's scary that a lot of the culture of today just lacks any sort of value. And it's kind of I feel like it's separating a lot of families and a lot of society, because kids are just want to go out and, have fun all night and not be productive, not be smart, not do, the work and do everything that their parents have set up for them. They just want to be, I guess I kind of did that too, but at the same time, I'm with my parents helping them out now, and I feel like that's not going to happen in the future with all the kids being brought up now. Everything's very selfish, and there's just a lack of discipline and respect, I feel like. Yeah.
Yeah, respect is another big thing. You were right. Discipline, obviously, it's so obvious that just not even just kids, but like our age, they just completely lack discipline, completely lack respect. Mostly, I think the respect that they're lacking is for their parents, because their parents worked so hard when they were younger, when they were our age, to get to where they are now, and then their parents have a ton of money, or maybe not even a ton, but enough, and I don't know.
They don't have to worry about pulling their own weight.
Yeah, we don't have to. Like, my dad paid his dad's bills when he was my age. I've never paid my dad's bills. Never even considered that to be an option. Like, I never had to. I never thought about it. But then it just makes it very easy for me to take it for granted and treat my dad like crap, because I don't know. Because I didn't see him earn it. He's had it since I was born, so I don't know. It's like he's already had it, so it's not really like his. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, and I've never like disrespected my father. My parents would never let me do that. But yeah, do you think it's more the kid's fault or the parents' fault?
I think it's a combination. It's hard to be like a strict parent in a world where the second you do something, they could have CPS at your house and you go to jail and something like that. But as a kid, you don't really have the mindset to know what the choices you're making are gonna do. Like, if you did call CPS, now you don't have parents, right?
Yeah.
You're stuck without parents now, and you might think it's the best thing in the world, but realistically, who's gonna, make you food, make your lunches, drive you to school, all that stuff? And on the contrary, if you're a parent and you don't have the balls to discipline your kids, then I feel like you're just as big of a problem as they are. Because part of being a parent is being a role model for them. So if you're a good role model in the first place, realistically, you shouldn't have to discipline them or do anything like that. And I think a lot of that there's a lack of that now.
Yeah, there's the age of newborn to, like, I'd say 8, 9, or 10 years old. Your kid sees you as a superhero. So I said this in the last one. You can get away with, like, when we're our age, when you have a kid that's our age, you can get away with do as I say, not as I do. But you can't get away with that like when they're young, because they don't understand what you're saying as deeply as you would hope. But what they do understand, which humans are really good at, is just seeing what other people do and doing that. So it's really important. What's the biggest thing someone can do to improve their life?
Get outside. Get some vitamin D. Go to the gym. Live in nature and not in, with your head buried in your phone. Be a productive member of society. Stay busy. And find a balance between working and having time for relationships, having time for your family. I found that keeping myself busy and finding that balance has made life go by quicker, realistically. Every day it goes by pretty quick. And if you keep yourself busy, you're gonna build up all that time management skills, stuff like that. That's gonna help you in the long run. Stuff you may already be good at from high school, if you played sports and juggled homework and sports and stuff like that. A lot of that will transfer over to becoming older and having time for kids, having time for work, having time to go hang out with your buddies. And it's important that you're thorough about it too, that you're not half-assing relationships. You could be committed to a bunch of different things 100%, even if people don't really say that.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, and it's important that if you do start something, you stay with it, and you don't, half-ass it. If you're in a relationship, make time for the relationship. Don't make it a second thought. Not to say you should be skipping work or skipping stuff like that, but make it a part of your schedule, and it will make life so much easier.
Mm-hmm. Do it well. Everything you do it well. It'll repay you in the future, even if you just get the sense of accomplishment for it. Do you have any goals in 2024?
I want to build a race car.
Build a race car?
Yeah.
Where are you going to race the race car?
I'm going to try to get membership for New England Dragway, and then maybe the Speedway up in Loudon. But that's very pricey, like thousands of dollars per year.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
that is pretty pricey.
Yeah, I need a car that would actually survive on the track first. So.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, imagine you pay the membership fee for the year.
And break it.
First drive, and you're like, come on, man.
That'd suck.
Anything else you want to talk about?
How's Joe's bikes? Good?
Joe's bikes it's good. It's good. It is mid-January and like 17 degrees out.
So a little bit slow.
But, we know that's happening.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it then.
Very good.
If you guys made it through all the way, please like, share, and subscribe. It means a lot to me. It's completely free. It takes half a second to do. You can always change your mind. And that's it. It helps me a lot because I want more people to see this. Thank you, Kendall,
of course,
for coming on. Perhaps we'll do one in the future.
Perhaps.
Once your race car's built. I'm going to be back in a week or 2 weeks for Rule 11 of the book. But that's it. I'll see you guys next time.